Have you ever thought that your greatest fear might actually be the very thing you desire most, being free? Or could it be that invisible forces are guiding your choices without you even realizing it? Today, we're going to dive into an uncomfortable truth. Maybe you don't really want to be free. That's right. The freedom we crave so much might just be what scares us the most. We live trapped in comfortable routines, held back by the fear of making mistakes, stuck in choices we don't even know are truly ours. Have you ever wondered why, even though you long for freedom, you still find yourself stuck in uncomfortable situations? In today's video, inspired by the powerful ideas of Erich Fromm on freedom, self-awareness, and the escape from freedom, you're going to uncover the invisible chains that keep you from living fully. It's time to awaken spiritually and take control of your own story. So, ask yourself, are you afraid of your own potential or of the very freedom you're chasing? Humanity has always fought for freedom, whether in historic battles for national independence or in the daily defense of our individual rights. Freedom seems to be at the heart of everything we long for. But here's a strange paradox. The more freedom we have, the more lost and anxious we tend to feel. Freedom is something everyone wants, right? But have you noticed how, in practice, it can actually be terrifying? That's exactly the paradox we're going to talk about today. In a world where it feels like everyone is chasing something, very few people truly know what to do when they finally find themselves free to choose. And you know why? Because, as Erich Fromm, the great psychologist and thinker, taught us, the fear of being free is also the fear of the unknown. Fromm once said, "Modern man thinks he loses something, time, when he does not do things quickly, yet he does not know what to do with the time he gains, except kill it." Maybe you've felt something like that, the sense of running so hard, but never really getting anywhere, or worse, getting there and not feeling truly satisfied. It's time to pause and reflect on how well you really know yourself. Could it be that the comfort of routine and the safety of the familiar are robbing you of the chance to spiritually awaken? What's holding you back might not be what you think, and the first step to breaking free is recognizing those invisible prisons. If you've ever felt like something just doesn't fit, like something inside you is calling for more, maybe it's time to dive deeper into who you really are, and finally take responsibility for your personal and spiritual freedom. Freedom or security? That's one of the hardest and quietest choices you make every single day, often without even realizing it. How many people do you know who spend years working jobs they hate, just for the financial stability at the end of the month? How many stay in relationships that no longer bring joy, simply because it's easier to remain in comfort than to risk the unknown? Erich Fromm teaches us that trading our freedom for emotional and financial security is one of the most common ways we fall into the trap of escaping from freedom. This behavior, which may seem harmless on the surface, ends up costing us deeply on a spiritual and emotional level. Believe it, there is no real comfort in living a life that doesn't reflect who you truly are. Picture someone who's always dreamed of starting their own business, but stays stuck, paralyzed by the fear of instability. Time goes by, the dream fades into the background, and that person begins to feel a deep restlessness, a silent frustration that grows stronger every day. Maybe you've been there, or you've seen someone close to you go through it. That's a clear example of how fear of the unknown can hold us back from spiritual growth. The big risk of constantly choosing safety is losing touch with your true purpose. Personal growth only happens when you dare to face the unknown. Always remember this. The price you pay for too much security is the loss of meaning in your life. Have you noticed how social media seems to offer an endless sea of choices and opportunities, but in reality, it's been trapping us more and more in limiting patterns? What looks like total freedom is often just an invisible cage disguised as autonomy. Don't be fooled. Social media is a master at crafting illusions. Illusions about freedom, about happiness, and about who you're supposed to be. Take a look at how many people live according to viral trends, constantly seeking external validation. Have you ever found yourself doing something just because everyone else was doing it? Whether it's a viral challenge, a trending hashtag, or a widely accepted opinion. How many times have you given up your own voice in exchange for collective approval? This kind of social conformity, so clearly described by Erich Fromm, plays a bigger role in your daily life than you might think. And what about cancel culture? How many times have you seen someone get attacked simply for sharing a different opinion? This fear of being rejected or criticized turns us into silent hostages of a system that appears to offer freedom, but in truth, feeds our emotional insecurity. The spiritual consequence is even deeper. When you drift away from your inner truth, you also distance yourself from your spiritual awakening. Notice how all of this creates a false sense of freedom, which is really just an escape from true freedom. Always keep in mind Fromm's powerful warning: authentic freedom requires courage. And that courage isn't found in likes or followers. It's found in self-awareness and the ability to act with authenticity. Have you noticed how easy it is to fall into the trap of the comfort zone? We've all been there at some point. It's that easy job that no longer challenges you, that predictable routine that's a little boring but feels too safe to leave behind. The problem with living this way is that the security of the comfort zone is exactly what stops you from reaching personal and spiritual growth. The writer Neil Donald Walsh once said, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." And you know why. Because growth only happens when you decide to face what you don't yet know. And here, once again, we return to Erich Fromm, who reminds us that fleeing from freedom is, in reality, fleeing from the unknown. That silent fear, which seems like it's protecting you, is actually blocking your spiritual awakening. Think about that old habit you've always wanted to break but never could. Maybe it's something simple, like procrastinating less, starting a meditation practice, or finally working on a personal project. Every time you avoid facing it out of fear of failure or discomfort, you strengthen that mental and spiritual prison. The good news is, you can start small. You don't have to change your whole life overnight. Just take small daily steps outside your comfort zone. Try changing one simple routine tomorrow. Wake up earlier, meditate for 5 minutes, or try something new you've never done before. These small actions will teach you something powerful. Facing the unknown isn't nearly as scary as you thought. Have you ever noticed how common it is to feel anxious when trying to please everyone, or how much it hurts to receive criticism, even when you know it's baseless? That feeling comes from a very specific place, the constant need for approval. And according to Erich Fromm, that's one of the highest prices we pay when we choose social conformity over true freedom. Deep down, when you live trying to meet external expectations, you lose something far more valuable: your connection to your true self. It's no surprise that so many people today struggle with anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. This constant pressure to be accepted by others creates deep emotional wounds. And the saddest part is that by constantly seeking external approval, you disconnect from your purpose and completely block your spiritual awakening. Take, for example, someone who always says yes to everything, even when it means sacrificing their own emotional well-being. That person builds up frustration and resentment because, deep down, they're constantly saying no to themselves. It's a vicious, draining cycle that pulls you further away from the path of authenticity and true self-awareness. The way out is recognizing the value of your inner voice. Start small. Practice saying no in simple situations. Notice how much lighter and more authentic you feel when you make decisions for yourself, not for others. That's exactly where spiritual awakening begins, when you realize that your worth doesn't come from what others think of you, but from who you truly are. Now that you understand how these invisible prisons affect your spiritual and emotional life, it's time to take the most important step: overcoming the escape from freedom. The question is, how do you actually do that? First, remember that true freedom involves personal responsibility. And here's a powerful tip: start by saying small no's. It might sound simple, But every time you express how you truly feel, you strengthen your inner courage. For example, say no to that task that doesn't fit into your day, or to that commitment that doesn't align with your personal values. Little by little, this will help you reclaim your power over your own life. Another transformative practice is to carve out a few minutes each day for meditation or reflective journaling. Carl Jung once wisely said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." Just 5 minutes a day observing your breath or writing down your thoughts and feelings in a self-awareness journal is enough to begin this journey. These simple practices will start to reveal limiting patterns you may not have even realized existed. Also, try taking small daily actions that push you out of your comfort zone. It could be something like striking up a conversation with a stranger, trying a new hobby, or changing up your routine. These small acts will gradually strengthen your courage to face the unknown and will fuel your spiritual growth. Remember, freedom isn't just about having choices, it's about knowing how to use them consciously. The more you connect with your true self, the closer you'll be to your spiritual awakening. If you've made it this far, it means something inside you deeply longs to break free from the chains that are holding you back. Maybe you've realized that the fear of your own potential and of the very freedom you seek might be standing in the way of your true spiritual awakening. So now what? The next step is yours. It's time to put everything we've talked about into action. Start living with authenticity today. Ask yourself each day, what can I do right now that will bring me closer to my true freedom? Remember, small conscious actions have the incredible power to deeply transform your reality. Are you ready to take personal responsibility for your happiness and spiritual freedom? If these words resonated with you, I invite you to take the next step on this journey of self-discovery. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep walking this path of spiritual growth with us. Share in the comments your experiences with conscious breathing and how it has become a teacher on your own awakening journey. Let's grow together, not just in mind, but in heart. And if you want to go even deeper into this process, watch our video, The Surprising Truth About Freedom Nobody Tells You. It'll help you better understand how reality truly unfolds. Peace and light.